Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of our coding video. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a clear button to our code. We're also going to add extra validation. So this is kind of a way to advance what you've already done. If you haven't done this, head over to video 1. Okay, here we are. And as I said, we're going to add a clear button. So find, in my case, it's on line 20, the calculate percentage button. Hit enter. Create a new button. ID, give it a clear button. And then for text on the button, just call it clear. Okay, and then close button. Good. Now we have our const here for button, one's for result display. Under button, we're going to also group a const for constipation for clear button. Okay, and then we're going to say, we have to remember we have to attach this variable to this one, which is, so this is the graphic design, this is the button itself, and this is how we code it. So we're going to say document, it's located on the document. We're going to get its ID, get element by ID. And the ID is clear button because we want to code that piece of graphic design. We want to code that element on the document. Okay, trying to make that make sense for you. Okay, now at the bottom here, we got to make our clear button actually do something. All right, so underneath the calculation, you can put code for your clear button right here. Actually, it can all happen in the same function, technically. It doesn't need to. Actually, it doesn't need to. So, right, let's make this so it looks nice. So you've got the close button for your main function. We can have our clear button operate independently from our main function. Okay, so we can actually just say, well, we can introduce something else in this video, actually, a comment. We can do // and we can say clear button functionality, so that we know what this section of code is. Okay, so we can say here clear button. Right, so this one here, clear button dot on click. So we want something to happen when they click it. We want it to be a function in the same way that this button functionality was its own function. Okay, clear button on click equals, well, we're going to make it a function, so it's gonna do something. So this open and close bracket, that represents a function, if I haven't said that before. But then the thing that it does is inside these squiggly brackets. You're going to say document dot get element by ID. We're going to clear the text boxes. Basically, we're going to clear total dot value equals quote quote, right? So we're going to take whatever was in there before, and we're going to just put an empty value in there. And this happens only when you hit this clear button, right? So when you click click it, this function happens. We're also going to say document.get element by ID. Part is going to clear as well. So part.value, whatever was in there before, is going to be nothing. And do you remember how we had, so for example, like this. I want to actually clear this as well. So we called this result display. So I'm going to say result display. We're not getting any element by ID because this is actually just, or sorry, we don't need to say this for this part because we're actually just grabbing the result display here. It's not actually something that is a text box in this case. All right, so get the value only works with this part. Anyway, result display, right? Because we want to target this part, which is our H2 over here. So we've got result display, got text content. And we're just going to say make that nothing when somebody clicks on the clear button. You need these semicolons at the end, by the way, so that kind of stops it and tells it to execute. Okay, so let's save. I'm just going to Control S in my case. Control S. And I'm going to refresh my site. There, we've got a clear button now. So I'm going to say 100. 50% clear. There we go. That works. And what else do I want to do? Well, I want to actually, what if somebody clicks on a percentage? See, calculate percentage, but there's nothing in our text boxes. This is a bad user experience. Your percentage is null, or your percentage is nan. What does nan mean? Let me see. Nan stands for not a number. Okay. Well, we don't want to have that. So we need to kind of create an exception or an if statement for when nan exists. So what we could do is we can say input. I'm just going to write a comment. So because the code is actually sort of becoming a lot now. So input validation. So this is if, this is detecting for that nan. We're going to say is nan, is if it is not a number for total, right, for our text box total, these two lines, these two pipes represent or in logic. You can go. The logical or. See? So I'm going to say if is nan for total. This is actually a function, so you put total in the function, and then you go if is nan for part. Do something. Well, I'm going to make our H2 say something. So result display, right? That's going into our H2. I'm going to make result display, but then I want it to have text associated with it. So text content again equal. Hey, you have to enter something. Okay, Control S. I'm going to go back. Refresh, calculate percentage. Didn't work. Okay. Oh, you know why? I haven't added any returns to these functions. So we've got to do that. We've got to add return. Every function needs a return, so that specifies that you know, I don't know. Let's look at a return function. The return statement ends a function execution and specifies a value to be returned to the function caller. So it's good you made it to this video, because in our previous videos, we did not add these return statements to our functions, saying that the function is finished and it needs to execute this. So basically, execute this and return back. Am I getting that right? Yeah, it ends it. Yeah, okay, so it basically just stops it from loading and ends it. So on all of your if statements in your code, add this return statement. Make sure you've added these semicolons too. So we've got here, if it is not a number for total, or it's not a number for part, right? So catch that. If that exception is true, we saw that that came up. Make the result.display, so our H2, make its content say this, and then end the function, because we've done everything. The logic is over at that point. If total is less than 0 or equal to 0, make the H2's content be equal to total value must be greater than 0, semicolon. End the function. Or sorry, end the logic. If part is less than 0, make the H2's content say part value must not be negative. End statement, end logic. Okay, Control S, let's see if that's good. Hey, you have to enter something. Okay, calculate percentage. So we needed those return statements. Perfect. Your percentage is 20%. Okay, what else can we add here? I know I said we would be adding a clear button, which works. We've also added those return statements, so we improved our code. It wasn't even working before. And what else? Oh yeah, we added our exception for the error not a number, right? Hey, you have to enter something. And what I want to do now is maybe improve the output a little bit. So let's improve this. So let's add a period at the end here and say, you see how we can actually access all of these variables? So percentage, we're accessing that here. We've got other things too. We've got part, which we're defining here in this const variable. And we've got total, which we're defining here in this const variable. Well, you can actually reference it here as well. You can say, part, right? So you can call part. You need a plus sign actually. Plus part is plus, oops, percentage oops, no, that's a variable. I'm calling the percentage again. I want to say the part is a percentage of the total. Part is percentage of try to put that here. Of total. And then you can call total because it's defined first up here, so you can call it wherever else. Okay, Control S. Your percentage is, let's say, 50%. Actually, and part is, I guess that makes sense. Your percentage is 50%. Okay, I see it. $50 is 50% of 100. These spaces are important, I guess, because it makes it look better. Your percentage is 50%. 50 is 50% of 100. One more time. Perfect. Okay. Let's do it one more time. Clear. Isn't it nice to have a clear button? Wait, where's that percentage? 50%. There we go. Your percentage is 50%. 50 is 50% of 100. Okay. Well, very simple. And stay tuned for video 3. I'll figure out how to improve this even more. Hope you like the clear button and this new feature. So we are catching that error of not a number. And you can see we found it by just playing around and debugging our code. Nan showed up, so we caught it with an if statement. Cool. All right, thanks for joining, and stay tuned. Bye-bye.